Hello and welcome along to another Where's My KitBag podcast. We're back after a slight week hiatus because Ofsted decided to show up.
Scary times.
I know, very scary times. You're joined by your glorious media technicians, me, James.
Me, Steve.
And
it's weird that it's not a third person when that comes along, isn't it?
I know. We're waiting for a star to fall and our new technician to come and join us at some point in the hopefully not too distant future.
I guess we can say there is somebody lined up. We're not going to disclose a name just yet. But yeah, somebody's lined up. It was really interesting. I guess without mentioning names, we can just talk about the interview process. Can we do that? It was really nice.
Yeah, we had 4 people interviewed, 2 on one day, 2 on another.
It was one of those ones of I don't know if any of the interviewees are listening. It was really nice. It was one of those ones of it was really, really close. And it was all of which we were like, yeah, these would have been great. So it was a tough decision. I was quite happy that there were people above us that obviously the big deciders. So yeah, it was a really pleasant experience. And I've heard from past years sometimes you can interview all you want and you just don't see the right one. But it was nice to see that there was multiple people that could have filled that role really nicely. So yeah, it was a shame we couldn't give everybody the job, but I think we found a lovely fit, which is great. I'm buzzing for it. It's gonna be good.
It's going to be good when they join us.
Yeah, because I think it's been all right just as a 2, but it's been busy.
Yeah,
because
when I started here, there were just 2 of us, and it was kind of fine. But now we do so much more, and there's more students.
Yeah,
you really do need that third person.
I think it's just with little things like with there being 2 of us, as you say, an additional course, more students, a bit more demand.
Yeah. Additional 2 courses.
Yeah. It just means that we're just a bit spread thin all the time, which is all right, but I don't think it's sustainable as a techie thing, because there's been a few times, which luckily we've got through, where you've been in a tutorial and I've been maybe in a class helping a student, and then another student has needed kit or some form of assistance. So that extra hand is just going to basically just take a bit of the intense pressure off.
It's going to free us up a bit.
Yeah, which is nice. So we can kind of take our time and do things well. I don't think we've actually had anything that's felt anything rushed at all. But if any content in the next couple of weeks, or you've seen in the past, you think, spelling error there, or it's been uploaded, or there's a mistake on there, it's just because we've been trying to make sure there's been enough content still going out. But that kind of second proofread we haven't been able to do because we just haven't had the time.
Also, our grammar inspector isn't here anymore.
Yeah, I mean you fill that role very well anyway. Yeah. For those out there. I'd like to say I'm quite talented in terms of technical ability, but my writing ability leaves a lot to be desired. Let's just leave it at that.
I really want to look through the current newsletter and actually try and find something mistake.
Fortunately,
I don't know why.
I have found InDesign there's a really, really good thing in InDesign that does help you kind of spell check correctly and stuff like that. But because you could just trying to blitz through it so quickly, like, cool, here's all the content, get it all in, yada yada yada. Sometimes things are missed, but fortunately, a lot of stuff that is sent to me, I'm kind of taking and incorporating into the newsletter. So a lot of it actually is not written by me, I think. So yeah, that's actually a great segue. So I've had one student come and speak to me and be like, I've got some stuff for the newsletter. Because what we want to do, we want to focus on this year.
You mean news?
No. I jumped the gun. How rude of me. We want to try from half term onwards, because we can't do it now, to have every single newsletter have some form of student input in some regard.
Ooh.
Now, the good thing is at least once a month that's going to be ticked anyway with TechNet Spotlight 2021, which is for those who have had relatives in the last couple of years that have come and been a student at the college, they might remember something called TechNet Choice. The only reason we've changed it to TechNet Spotlight 2021 is just because we need to change the tag each year. Because to tell you a little story, going down memory lane, we had TechNet Choice and it was amazing. The first year was so good. We got like 148 entries, to be weirdly specific, somewhere near the sort, give or take for 2 or 3 either side. And what we did is every week at that time, we would jump on Instagram, make sure that account was a student of the college, drop them an email like, you've won this week, can you send us through the image so we can put it on the newsletter? And we did that every week. So much so that we ended up really struggling to shortlist those winners that won a TechNet badge each week, which was great, which I think we'll still do as we still have quite a few. They would then get shortlisted into win an Oscar or a Media and Film Award at the end of the year, irrespective if you're a first or second year. It was quite a bit of an anomaly with those type of awards because most of the time the big Media and Film Awards are for second years, but there was a first year nominated in that year, which was good. Yeah, it's just another opportunity just to celebrate how great you guys are. And it just means that if there's anything cool, which I know a lot of you are doing outside of lessons, we can share and celebrate that with you, which is great. So if there is anything that you would like to share, even if it's already been on Instagram for a little while, if you just go over to it, press edit, and you put in the hashtag TechNet Spotlight 2021, that will then go onto that tag, and you will be in with a chance of winning the monthly competition. The good thing with that is then I believe there's maybe 10 months up till awards, so that's 9 or 10 winners, all of which will get shortlisted to win one of the awards, or win a TechNet Spotlight Award. I almost said TechNet Choice.
Steve,
I know. Which is a good thing. And the nice thing is as well, even if you win the monthly one as well, it's just great for your UCAS application. It's great for CVs because the newsletter goes out to a lot of people, and it's a good bit of recognition, which is great. For those who are listening and are like, oh, I've never heard of this, if it can go on Instagram and follows Instagram guidelines, as well as following College Code of Conduct,
pictures, video, whatever.
If you can upload that medium, so to speak, to Instagram. TechNet Spotlight. See if you can want to share your cool work. That'd be cool. So that's something that's new.
Also, while you're there, drop us a follow at F6 Media Film on our actual Instagram page.
Absolutely, because clients have actually come through the Instagram page to seek work from F6 Productions. More on that in a couple of weeks.
Dun dun dun.
Which is cool. And then further down that as well, it's just a bit of a call out to all other students, being like, even if you don't make any content, a lot of students have got blogs, right? Top 10s, review films, or they're making films and they need cast and crew. Maybe there's 3 or 4 of you out there like, I'd really like to get involved in a short film. And one of you's like, I want to make a short film, but I don't have a crew. Say, I've got this nice script, a short 5-minute film. I want to make it for a bit of extracurricular stuff. Maybe submit it to a film festival. Pop it on the newsletter. You might find, a lovely, Deakin style DP is somewhere in the department. Is like, yeah, I'm going to get on that. DP is director of photography. So it's a really good way. We just want to get this kind of really active within the student community this year. And the easiest way to do that is, as it says on the newsletter, just email technet@farnborough.ac.uk with what you'd like to put on the newsletter, maybe why if it's relevant, and we'll see if they can make that happen for you. That's pretty much it. The Venom header, I had a bit of fun doing.
Can I just say, that is the best header I think we've ever had.
Oh, thanks, man.
That is sick.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's so good.
Yeah, cheers.
It's so good. Look in your emails and bask in Steve's glory.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. I was really lucky, actually, because that image is like 4,000 by 5,000 pixels, which was great. So, yeah, it was really, really fun. I played with some 3D text, which was good. And for context, which is hopefully a bit of inspo for you, if you go back onto the archive, the first time I'd ever used InDesign was that first ever newsletter, and look how far it's come. It's doing all right.
Yeah.
So it was really, really good fun to make, and it's really down to the image material that I've got to play with. Next week's, which is a little bit of a spoiler, is the new Bond film, and I also have an equally good image. It's not as crazy in terms of design and stuff, but it is cool, and it's coming together. So the newsletter's still rocking, irrespective of being a techie down. We're still getting it out there, which is good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's really suffering is not that and the YouTube page. We've not really been able to post many videos purely because
we've not had time.
We've got a media lesson pretty much every single lesson of the week besides Friday after lunch. And even then, we just the computers just need to chill.
We need to chill a little bit.
So,
and now we've also got an open evening as well to worry about. So if you're listening to this and you've not signed up to help us out for open evening, not next week, so that's the 19th, 20th and 21st of October, chat to your teachers or chat to me or Steve in the edit suite, and we can assign you if you want to help out on open evening. It's a really nice event where you can chat to obviously prospective students and parents and really tell everyone how great this department, how great your course you are on is. So if you want to get involved with that, chat to your teachers or come and find us in the Edit Suite and we can sign you up for some sessions.
Yeah, it's good.
There might be snacks available. That might lure you in. So snacks may be available. So just, let us know. Come and chat with your teachers. Come and chat with us, and we will do our best to sort you out. And we'd be very appreciative, and we'd love you forever.
Absolutely, and the students are the real game changers as well, because it's they're the perspective. You'll be chatting to other year 11s, maybe even the odd year 10s that do pop up. Just want to know a little bit more, and we can sell it as much as we can, but that it's our job with the staff. But it's ultimately down to you guys to give your personal opinion of what the vibe's like.
They'll always turn around and be like, okay, so this staff member's just said all this. Is it true? And they'll be like, yeah. They're like, oh, all right,
nice, cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. Good vibes.
Yeah, it is very good vibes.
Nice. There might be popcorn. I don't know.
Yeah, we're looking into
COVID's dependent.
Yeah, for all you students who have come to open evenings, that's our little USP, the smell of popcorn coming out of Beacon Building. We just need to jump through some hoops, see who we need to chat to see if we can get the green light to do that. If we can't, we'll still just crack on as usual.
Nice. Shall I do some tunes of the week, Steve?
Yes.
I still love that jingle. It's great.
Yeah.
Tunes of the week this week, following the vibe of having two, because stuff it.
Might as well.
I listen to too much music. First one, quite mellow, very chill. I heard it on Radio 1 randomly, just while I was, washing up. All those cool tasks humans do these days. And it's a band called Far Caspian. Never heard of them?
I haven't.
Exactly. See, I'm loving introducing people to brand new music. So it's a band called Far Caspian. It's called Attempt. Really mellow indie, really nice and chill. The kind of like lo-fi hip hop vibes. Think that.
Okay.
But maybe a bit more guitar.
Interesting.
Yeah, really chill, really quite nice, really mellow song. It's a good one for the kind of colder evenings where you just want to snuggle up, listen to some nice music, and just chill.
Almost time to get Bublé on.
Oh, God. No, it's not Christmas yet, Steve. Jeez.
He does winter songs as well.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, God, that wintry man. And then the second one, of course, you can say, have you heard this song, Steve?
I don't think those two bands should really be together, so I'm curious where you're going with this.
Mate, it's a bop.
Okay, cool.
It is such a bop.
That's the title of the pod.
Yeah.
Such a bop.
Such a bop. You know what, I'm gonna because I always forget. And I'm going to type in such a bop. There we go. So it's Coldplay, obviously one of my favorite bands of all time ever, merged with BTS.
BTS is one of those ones that I think the music's really good. It's one of those ones of I don't have any say, but if it's on the radio, I won't turn it off. It's like that kind of vibe.
Smooth like butter.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So it's called My Universe. So some of it is in South Korean. And some of it is in English, so it kind of flip-flops. There was one, I think, they did a rendition, because it came out just before Coldplay and BTS were part of that whole Global Citizen massive, obviously, campaign on that front. And Coldplay did a version of it, and Chris Martin had learned most of the South Korean bits, except for like the big chunk of South Korean, which is kind of in the kind of like middle bit before the second, like third chorus or something, but because he just sort of turns around, and obviously they got BTS like on a screen kind of thing, and he's just like, I don't know this bit yet, but yeah. It was just like, that's actually quite adorable in a way. But yeah, it is such a bop. It's really poppy. I think it's top of the Billboard Hot 100 at the moment.
Wow.
Which is a pretty damn good achievement. Since Coldplay don't really get number one singles that often, considering their gloriness and greatness, they actually don't. It's very odd. But yeah, both of those will be on the Spotify playlist. Just look it up. Where's my KitBag podcasts playlist on Spotify? Who would have thought? So yeah, check them out. Check all the other tracks out. They're all great.
Must be well over 100 songs now.
I think we're up to 150 something or other.
Wow.
Yeah.
What episode is this of the pod? We're getting close, aren't we?
We'll have to look. I think we're early 90s. I think we are.
Could the new techie be joining us for the 100th episode?
Oh my God. Mate, if we can pull that off.
That'd be great.
Or like 99 or something.
Introducing first.
Sick. Introducing our new technician.
That'd be amazing.
Just do it like a whole, like, boxing ring thing.
That'd be cool.
In the blue corner.
Yeah.
Weighing in at unknown weight. Do like a whole boxing thing. But yeah, no, so check out those songs and all the others on the good old Spotify playlist.
Yes.
But now, weirdly, me and Steve have seen the same things in like the same week and a bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat about 2 films and 2 TV shows in What Have We Been Watching?
I think we've been really heavily impacted by social media and trends this last 2-3 weeks, I think, with what we've been watching.
Yeah.
Should we start with Free Guy?
Yes.
Because I think that's a good one. It's an easy one to start with.
It's an easy in.
What made you want to watch Free Guy this week?
Mainly because it was out on the old subscription service.
Disney Plus, yeah, exactly the same. That's the reason I asked that is because it's such an interesting conversation. Because I was gonna go and see it in cinema.
Same, but I just haven't found time.
Exactly.
I've not found a screening time that matched up with my time either leaving work or when I was free or not doing something.
My issue, and it is genuinely an issue, is if this is going to become a trend where it is going to become on a streaming service within a couple of months, within a quarter of a year of it being in cinema.
Well, Free Guy only kind of recently got into cinemas like a month ago.
Exactly. So it makes me just think, I love cinema. I love going to the cinema. I love the experience. But even as somebody who enjoys doing that, I still then say to myself, well, what's the point? I might as well wait. Which is really bad.
Yes, that's terrible.
And that's kind of my interesting point about Free Guy, because I was like, we turned on Sky because it's really nice when our Skybox basically on the homepage will have a bit from Netflix, a bit from Amazon Prime and stuff.
What's new?
Tells you what's new. And Disney Plus said Free Guy now streaming, and I was like,
oh,
what? Okay, sweet, we'll watch that. But I thought it was still in the cinema, so it's an interesting one.
It is, weirdly. It still is in the cinema.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know why. Because it's good. It's a good film.
It's a really good film. I loved it.
I enjoyed the references. I thought they were great.
Yeah, it felt very Ready Player One-esque, but without all the kind of homages to everything that kind of Ready Player One was like. I like Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of the character of Guy. I just love how it's just called Guy. And obviously you've got the guy from Stranger Things in it as well.
Was great.
He really was good. You got Taika Waititi. I've probably butchered that pronunciation. Sorry.
Better than I could.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go have a go, Steve.
I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
TW.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Found it really fun.
Yeah.
But similar to what you're saying, the case of why wait. I mean, I've got a big sound system. I've got a big telly.
Yeah.
I'm getting obviously not. It will never mimic a cinema. I don't have a cinema room.
Are you getting a projector?
No, God, no. TV gives way more lumens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Somebody got a projector. A close friend got a projector. It's all right. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I quite like it. You're right.
Yeah. A
it's
TV
soft.
just looks better. Yeah. Looks a bit sharper, but yeah, it's a case of, well, I could just wait a bit and then go and see it.
Absolutely.
Or do I have to spend £5 on tickets, then petrol, obviously, lol, getting that at the moment, then parking, then all this and all that and the other, and it's just like an extra.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Just like, well, I could just sit downstairs in my comfies.
I've already paid
pause
for it.
I can pause it if I need a wee.
Yep.
I've run out of drink. Pause it. I need some popcorn. Pause it.
Katrina wants to watch the other half the next day or next month. She can do that.
The cinema. Oh, sorry guys. Really need a wee. Can you just stop it now and then just pop out and come back in?
It's a good point. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It does make us somewhat concerned for conventional cinema. But we'll see.
It's still on the rise. I did enjoy seeing Shang-Chi in the cinema when I saw it because Free Guy was still showing then.
Yeah.
But at like 3:00 in the afternoon, I'm like, well, I can't really just but sorry, Steve, I'll see Free Guy too. Yeah. But back to the film, really good. I thought it was very much worth a watch. Yeah. Really quite fun.
The fact that it's got real references in it, you'd think that maybe they spent all their money on that, and it's actually a pretty naff story. It's actually pretty good and makes somewhat sense.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It's a good original product.
Yeah, I don't understand all the artificial intelligence stuff about it, but it makes it so easy to follow, and it's so good because all of the references, you just as the gaming community say, if you're a filthy casual, you would still understand most of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Which
would.
is exactly what I am. Like, I was aware of maybe 95%, or at least I went, oh, I know what that's from. I don't play it, but I know what that's from, which was cool. I think the only thing that they made their own, which made complete sense, is they didn't pick Grand Theft Auto. They just styled the whole video game after a Grand Theft Auto style, which was great.
The kind of open sandbox,
But I don't know if it's a spoiler, if you'd really want to call it a spoiler, but the reference to Avengers was fantastic. I did not see that coming. That was so in your face. With the soundtrack and everything was just that was so funny. But it was great. It's good. It clearly doesn't take itself too seriously, but also takes itself seriously enough to give you a good narrative. I feel like that would have been a good narrative if there was not a single reference and it was like Ready Player One, where it was a completely it was just filled with
nostalgia.
Yeah. It had a bit of nostalgia and a very interesting story as well, which actually made it. To be fair, like, I'm not putting this in a comparison to like all other films, but as a comedy or a film, like, it's got like a 9.5. Like,
absolutely.
It's not compared to stuff like 1917. It's not. I think they're different lists to have.
Yes,
but in its own world,
in its genre,
there's very little that I'd say apart from maybe different games or something like that to reference.
Catchphrase.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, it was great. The casting was great. Channing Tatum was fantastic.
Oh, I didn't recognise him straight away, and then when he started dancing, I'm like, "Oh my god, let's see tats."
Yeah, it was really. It was good fun, really good fun, and I think that's all it was designed to be. And then just to get the gamers out of their lobbies and into the cinema, and I think they've done that, which was good,
really good,
very good fun.
I would also rate it similarly to you, 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
all day.
Absolutely.
Right, what do you want next? TV show or the other film we've seen?
Let's go with Sex Education.
Season 3.
Yeah, because I think the big thing is the other series I want to talk about. That's it's good. Yeah. So, oh my god. Yeah. Sex Education is an interesting one, isn't it? Because
because I only remember
about a week and a half ago. I think
I'm similarly. I think I was similar to you.
Yeah.
Weirdly, we're watching it at the same time.
This time last week. But again, it's just because I feel at the moment, I don't know if this is a critique of social media now. I don't know. I was going to say the next generation, but I really don't think it is. It's just social media now and the attention span. If something gets in the Netflix top 10 or it becomes popular world, you have to watch it quickly.
Otherwise, spoiler.
You will accidentally scroll past something, and even if you see a character, like which we'll go on to Squid Game, you will see just an image of a character, and if they're not in an outfit that you're used to, you'll be like, "Well, I know they're gonna progress."
Yeah,
which is a spoiler within itself, and you can't hide from it nowadays.
No. I mean, I'm quite good. I managed to avoid loads of spoilers.
Yeah, Squid Game was a good one. Yeah. I didn't miss anything from that, but it's so easy to miss stuff.
100%.
Which puts me off. Like, I'll be honest, it is my own fault, but within 5 days of Endgame coming out, and I've still not seen it because of social media.
Yeah. Everything's ruined.
The whole shock value,
ruined.
You know, as far as I'm aware, it is as close in terms of shock value to, you know, I am your father type vibes of our generation. I've been told, but it just makes you go, well, I know roughly what happens now because you only gave me 5 days. That's not even enough time to catch up on the last couple of films. You know, I've got a life to live. So the time between something coming out, getting popular, and then spoilers being rife into the social media world is getting shorter and shorter every time, which is crazy. Sex Education, let's go back to it. The thing that I loved about this season, because I think we can all agree that the narrative each season is just always phenomenal. The bar never dips. I know there's arguments with things like Stranger Things that sometimes, this season's better than that season. But I don't think Sex Education ever has that argument.
No, I felt season 2 was only a tiny step backwards from 1 for me. But I felt season 3 took that step forwards back to the kind of season 1 level. Yeah, but I mean, like I'm talking like a tiny shuffle backwards, not like a big, you know, everything was trash. Mainly because I can't remember the character's name. The guy in the character in the wheelchair. His name, whoever he is, because for me, I really hated his kind of vibe and his introduction into 2, and then following into 3.
Yeah,
I felt that he was just because we all knew as the audience that he was a bad man.
His whole arc throughout the whole season,
so evil.
It was.
But it was kind of like him trying to redeem himself, but then. Shooting himself in the foot.
It's like a big S, isn't it? Like a reoccurring S of going up and then down, up and then down.
He was
just like,
a big F for fail.
Now.
Otherwise, for me, Adam's journey, I think, was the journey of the season.
Yeah, it was awesome.
For me.
Really, really. Whoever, I don't know the actor's name, but he was fantastic. He is such a good actor, and it was really impressive because me and my other half chatted, but he's so relatable in his own ways, which is great in terms of his
played by Connor Ryan Swindles.
Yeah, so relatable in terms of his
That's not a good picture of him on Google.
Not at all. It's just his like confusion of his situation across many things, not just his sexuality.
Oh, yeah,
really
absolutely.
Good. His battle with his passion for education and stuff. I mean, he's so that young person's kind of attitude.
I love the end episode with. I mean, is this a spoiler?
It's been out for quite a while. But, social media have ruined it by now.
Where even is the spoiler alarm anymore? All right, I'll just give you the wah.
Nice.
There you go. That's
spoiler wah.
Spoiler Luigi.
Are you talking about the dog competition?
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
I loved that. He was just like this kind of realization that going, I'm all right.
But conventional series would have let him win that.
Yes,
and I like the fact that he didn't win. He didn't even get on the podium.
Yeah, but he got a special mention, which
is
great.
All he
needs.
And they put it together so well, and the art direction of that is absolutely textbook. I love the fact that we don't know where they are. I know they go to France at one stage, but even still, when they come back across the border, you hear about Dover, and I think that's about it.
Yeah.
They don't even tell you how far it is from Dover.
No,
I think
Mystic.
Dover's the place. But at the
the
same
whole
time,
stuff in the bus.
There's a scene. Yes, there's a scene which I found amazing from an art direction perspective that put the place in a very weird time capsule that you'd never know.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the ex-principal, Mr. Groff, when he meets his ex-wife in the convenience store. And there's a two-shot, which is really interesting because Old El Paso, getting their money's worth, they're in front of an Old El Paso stand.
They are.
But the Old El Paso stand is the branding that we know in 2021.
Yeah.
But the rest of the art decor is of what the
70s, 80s.
Yeah, it's just lost in that second half of the 19th century kind of vibe. So odd.
It really is,
and it was so interesting. And then you'd get stuff like the main character. His names come out of my head. I can't even think.
Oh, the guy played by Asa.
Yeah,
that guy.
Otis.
Yeah.
One of the first things we see is he comes out and he's why I know this I don't know, and he drinks out of a co-op like current branded carton of orange juice, which is it's just the 2021 co-op branding. I don't even think it's a co-op brand. It's just the own brand.
In fact, you know that. It's quite
it's just because I buy it myself. And then he gets in like a 1995 VW Golf that Maeve's best friend drives, I believe. No, it's... I'm not sure.
Mimi.
Yeah, that might be it.
She's played by a person called Mimi.
But they get in retro cars. All the cars are really old. It's so interesting.
They're also using like brand new iMacs.
But they absolutely smash. For some reason, you don't question it. You're just like it just all makes some form of sense.
It's like a place that's harking, but it's trying to hold on desperately to the 70s and 80s, but is really weirdly modernised.
It's just it seems to just appeal to quite a mass market that whether you're 40 years old and watching it, you can relate to it for when you were at school, or you're watching it now
and you can relate to it while you're in school and college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what year they're in. What are they even studying?
It's irrelevant.
How old are they?
It's so interesting, so interesting. But yeah, again, I hope they put out a season 4. I think they'd be silly not to. I don't think it is actually confirmed yet. I mean,
it would be. I would be surprised if they didn't,
because there's so many storylines,
and the popularity of it as well.
Yeah. Just Maeve and Otis, with Maeve returning from America, with that period of time, you could do anything in terms of Otis maybe moving on, Maeve moving on, maybe Maeve brings someone back from America, all sorts of stuff just to spark that plot line. As you say,
obviously the sister now.
Yeah. So many interesting plot lines that still need to be explored, but I still felt satisfied by the end of the season. It was it's so good. Like, I think Sex Education, I'd be very it's just the season at the moment, all the franchise, the series as a whole is easily 10 out of 10. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, it's there's no fault that it detracts from your experience watching
and they're tackling so many interesting issues in across the country at the moment, which is great. Issues with people struggling with their identity and how that's being incorporated into society, race, sexuality, so many different things. It's so interesting, and they just address it so well that makes you kind of you are not suffering with those issues, but you somehow relate to them, and you sympathize with them, and you want them to feel comfortable, which is just mad. It's just so good the way it's been written, shot, edited, whatever. It's hats off. Really, 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 really pleased with that. I think it's great. There you go.
Nice.
Shall we decline with our themes?
Wait, are we going to the guilty or squid?
Let's chat about guilty. I think it's one of those ones.
The guilty's a quick one, and then we're into the bigger debate of the squid.
Do you want to start about the guilty? What do you think? What did you think?
The guilty is it's a film on Netflix. Came out popped up about a week ago
straight
or
to
something.
The top 10 as well, or recommended.
It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it playing a police officer who is in the sort of 911 call center.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's all shot basically just in the 911 call center.
Yep.
The very, very seldom shot somewhere else other than in the call center. And it's basically his story. He gets a call through. A female is sounding quite manic on the phone, and everything progresses from there.
Yeah.
And it's I thought really really well done, Jake Gyllenhaal, having to basically act with no face to work with, just a voice.
Yeah.
Excellent on that front. 2, excellent demonstration of how you can just film in one location, and it's not boring, it's not dull, it's tense. The pacing's great. And number 3, a really good storyline, I think. I felt overall this was a really well executed piece.
It's the closest thing that I've ever had in terms of an experience of what I was watching a film, but I was in the mindset of I was reading a book. Because when you read a book,
it was based on a novel, I think, or some. I think because it says so at the end. It's based on a bestseller.
I just mean with the context of, when you read a book, you picture characters, you picture locations.
Yeah.
It does the same thing because you don't hear or you don't ever see what the other end of the call looks like. So your mind fills in the details, which is really interesting. The character that he gets a call from, her name is Emily, and I was saying to my other half, I was like, our image of Emily in our heads are different individuals completely.
Oh, interesting.
And the locations that they go to based on the call in our heads are different locations.
Because I was dreaming I was thinking of kind of like they're on a kind of Breaking Bad style, like kind of dusty road,
interesting
highway, like kind of just cutting through like a desert almost kind of thing.
Interesting. No, I didn't have that.
Because you don't quite know where they are either, really.
They're on an interstate going out of California. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's all you hear.
Yeah.
And your depiction of America at the time, because you've been to LA, I haven't.
Yeah.
So mine's
LA's really industrial.
Mine's more.
But if they're leaving California out to the east, then you're getting into like the sticks, basically.
It's crazy. So it's really, really, really impressive. Again, another really impressive use of sound. It's just a perfect example of just taking the conventions of film and kind of twisting them and proving that you can actually do really well with it. And for a film, as you say, shot in one location, still looks damn beautiful, which is good. Really, really cool film. I give it like an 8. Maybe a 9.
I'd give it a 9 for me.
It's actually still really impressive.
Yeah, I felt there were some bits that were a bit like that. They're almost trying to force, like Jake Gyllenhaal's character had like some kind of mental episode of some description. Yeah. I felt they were trying to force that a bit too much.
Yeah,
where I felt they could have eased that back a bit and then had a bit more on sort of Emily's narrative. But
there's
either way, really great example of good voice acting, good cinematography, and just good all round storytelling.
Yeah. Absolutely. Really, really cool film.
And now...
Yeah, so decided to watch Squid Game because it's kind of doing the rounds, and I thought, give it a go. It's
all the students were talking about it.
Yeah.
And we both went, shall we just watch it?
Yeah.
And then we can join in.
Thought I'd give it a watch. So to give it some context of what it is for anybody out there who's not familiar with what it is, doesn't want to watch it, whatever, because it is quite a distressing show actually when you think about it.
Yeah, it's oddly graphic.
Yeah. So it's set in South Korea, and it basically follows Jihan, I think is his first.
I think that's
the name,
right.
Because I think
I'm gonna keep going. I'll Google the names for you.
It follows a gentleman in South Korea. He's the main character, and he's in a bit of financial trouble, and he is given the opportunity to make some money by playing children's games. But there is a lot.
Ji-hun.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
I got it right. Yeah. He with all other 456 people that get involved as well. They didn't realise the stakes were as high as they were. It's a very, very interesting concept about how far people will go for money, and what people would regard is happy, etc. And it's quite a interesting conversation on how the rich work as well, because there's a lot of money involved. 46 billion won, I think it equates to about 27 million, 28 million, something like that.
I'll convert it for you, bear with.
But it's really, I think the thing that's really got people invested is its art style is so colourful, it's beautiful. 45.6 billion, by the way, so you're typing it in. I couldn't figure out the enough zeros in my head.
3.
Yeah, and annoyingly, it's one of those ones of it's no spoiler at all, because you'll see it if you do hover over it on Netflix. You'll see the red light, green light scene, or some part of that scene.
28.6 million pounds.
I was close,
very close. Very well done, Steve.
It looks beautiful. It's so well shot. People have mixed opinions on the dub, but I think if you were to watch it dubbed, you wouldn't have a bad experience.
No.
I will be honest, I decided to watch it dubbed, which I do know is the less preferred way conventionally. But
we got a lot of grief for watching it dubbed.
I have my reasonings.
All right, what's your reasonings?
There were very few close-ups, which I will agree were not dubbed well, but the languages are very different. Most people were in masks. Most were wide shots. It was very rare that there were actual legitimate close-ups where there was a lot of dialogue. It was maybe 5% of an episode, if that. But all the content where somebody's wearing a mask, it was fine.
It makes no difference.
And it's so well mixed into the space that anything that wasn't voice, or however the voice reacted with the environment, i.e. being outside in a hall, whatever, seemed really good. You are absolutely right. There are a few instances where there was a medium close-up, or extreme close-up.
Where it looked a bit janky.
And it wasn't great, but you just have to realise, it is what it is. I decided to watch it with dubbed purely for the fact of it looked so good. And a lot of it was down to human emotion in responses to how they would respond to certain quite distressing situations. And to be honest, I didn't want to read subtitles when I wanted to be looking at their performance.
My main thing was I didn't want to miss anything, and I wanted to really appreciate the cinematography.
Yeah, it was great.
Because
it looked so nice.
all I'd heard is that it just looks great. So I didn't want to waste my time reading, things really quickly and then be like, oh, what have I missed for that 5 seconds I've been reading the translation.
Yeah.
And it just made me able to enjoy just the visual aspect of it all. I mean, it was very visceral.
Yeah.
I think is a great word.
I don't think we should spoil much past the first or second episode, so people can at least go and see it.
Shall we at least do the premise of the first one and then leave the rest up to everyone else?
I've briefly talked about a lot of it as it is already.
Red light, green light.
Yeah, so that's pretty much kind of the big talking point of what it is. So yeah, the 456 people. If somebody gets eliminated, I believe it's $1 billion. $1 billion goes into this big old piggy bank in this.
No, it wasn't a bit, because if it was billion, you'd have 465 billion. So I think it's 100 mil goes in,
which is pretty crazy. But they quickly find out when these two younger, naive gentlemen have a little bit of a jokey
kind of thing,
where the first gentleman doesn't stop on red light and he falls to the floor after a big bang and no one knows what it is. And turns out that being eliminated means that you are killed.
Yes.
Which is really interesting. And the last episode, at the end of the first episode, basically there's a few rules to the game where all players cannot they are not allowed to refuse to play the game. And then I think that there's another one in the middle. And then the third one is if there is a majority vote, you are allowed. Everyone's allowed to leave with no money.
Yeah.
And that's people. That vote gets put forward. The result of that vote, I'm not going to say anything of. It is the end of that first episode because people then go, "Oh my god, I don't want to die. I wanted some more money, but I want to die." It comes forward, which is really good, and it's so interesting to see a bit more of a raw outlook on what desperate people would do, which was really, really cool. There were so many different characters in there, some more hyperbolic than others. Those who have seen it will understand. But it was really, really impressive. And the thing I loved about the series is, irrespective if you're on episode 1 or episode 9, whatever you think is going to happen until about 30 seconds before it does,
you have no idea.
You don't have a clue. I thought, I was like, oh no, this is going to happen now. It's going to be a real shame or whatever. And I got thrown a curveball, and I'm like, oh, okay,
oh no,
interesting. Yeah, really, really impressive, which was great. I think I really like about Squid Game is it's giving Eastern filmmaking a bit more exposure to the West, which is great. I mean, it's been happening over the last 30-ish years as it is, but not to this magnitude. I think was it Old Boy was probably the like that type of film got a lot of attention.
Then
like
Parasite, obviously.
Yeah, that might have been a good Kickstarter as well, but sadly I haven't seen Parasite yet.
Oh, Steve!
I'll just be honest.
That's your homework.
Yeah, but it's just phenomenal, and I really like the fact that it translated to a Western audience really, really well. Irrespective of the games that we didn't play, I have enjoyed some of the social media of what people have said of like if it was set in Britain with like musical chairs. Somebody said, which would have been hilarious.
Pass the parcel.
Yeah. Oh my, Duck Duck Goose. Someone said.
Oh no.
And it was like, yeah.
Imagine Duck Goose bang.
If that translated, oh my goodness. But
crikey.
If you don't mind if you don't mind something that's, I'll be honest, it is quite dark. It has very dark themes, and does have some graphic scenes. Then do check it out. It is beautiful. The story is great. The narrative arcs of many characters are very good. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories, critical approaches, I think, to answer some questions. Would you, and don't give any reasons why, would you want a second season?
I don't think it needs one for me. I felt it ended on a note. I was kind of like, oh no, I was kind of about the ending, about the very end ending, but I kind of like where it ended because it does leave it open if they did want to do a season 2. I personally think it doesn't need one. Yeah,
I think it's one of those ones of the unanswered questions. I think because we follow Ji-hun and his knowledge of that world in South Korea at the time, it's good to just. They've answered all the core questions that you would have as an audience member, and you can't know that they answer to absolutely everything. No. And it's cool then because then you can talk about things. I'm being cautious of what I say just in case, but it's really, really fun. And it's one of those ones of I made sure I kind of cancelled plans so I could watch it because it is really, really good. Nothing crazy, but it was just like, I want to get it finished as soon as possible. One, because it was actually really enjoyable to watch. And two, I didn't want to see any spoilers, which there are a lot out there. If you have seen a spoiler, I will say, don't be put off by watching it because it would very much benefit from a second rewatch. Very much so.
There's so many things early on that you don't notice until you've watched all the way through it, and then when you watch back you're like,
yeah, which is cool. But really impressive. I don't know what I'd give it out of 10. I don't know actually.
I think as a whole, I mean, I couldn't find much fault with it.
Yeah,
really. I mean, I'd give it a really solid 9.
Yeah,
easily.
I'd be around that as well.
It gripped me from episode 1, which is what I like from a show. If it takes too long, I'm just like, nah, I ain't got time for you.
Yeah, the first episode was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because then the second episode is a bit more of a character builder for the key characters.
They've got the hooks you in, and then you build up from there.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I loved it. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a rogue Takeshi's Castle.
Oh, God. Lethal Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God. But I think that rounds up another Where's My KitBag podcast.
Yeah.
Such a bop. So follow us on all our social medias at F6 Media Film on Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, if you've got any technical problems or if you want to get on the newsletter, where do they email Steve Cale?
technet@farmer.ac.uk with our social handles for Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. No, Instagram and Twitter would be F6 Media Film, and YouTube is just TechNet.
Yes. Or if you type in youtube.com/TechNetYT, you get straight to it.
You do.
We got enough subs, so we have an actual name.
Absolutely.
It's glorious. So make sure you obviously subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or SoundCloud, or whatever podcast app you use. And obviously we'll be back next time with episode 3, hopefully next week.
Yes.
When the media deadline is looming.
Yes.
Good luck to you. I've been James.
I've been Steve.
And you've been listening to a Where's My KitBag podcast.
What is that?
Toodaloo.